Have you ever wondered how your favorite Netflix show travels all the way to your TV screen? Like, how exactly does it find the path to you? Well, just like in real life, in streaming too, there are traffic rules your video must follow in order to get to your device. These rules are called video streaming protocols, technologies that help us securely deliver our video content digitally. Hi there, I'm Anush from inoRain, and in this video we'll talk about video streaming protocols and how they make video deliverable. Let's start. What is a video streaming protocol? By definition, a video streaming protocol is a set of rules that defines how your video data is packaged, transmitted, delivered, and played back over a network, which is usually the internet. But if we put it simpler, then it's how your video travels from A point to B point following those traffic rules. A rule tells your video data to be structured and delivered so that both the server and the player understand each other. It's basically an agreement between the server and the player. If both follow the same rules, then streaming works. If they don't, playback breaks. So a rule is not a suggestion, it's a strict instruction both sides should follow. Before we move on, let's sum up. Streaming protocols are not single rules, they are groups of specifications to help us deliver video smoothly and on time. How video streaming protocols work? In general, every video streaming protocol defines how video is segmented, delivered, and played back over the end user's device. Now let me show you what happens in each step with an example. Let's say you're the one streaming a video and that's a cooking tutorial. First, your cooking tutorial is recorded with a camera. The camera is giving you a raw video which is not streamable. This is why it's sent into an encoder to be compressed into a streamable format. And after that, two things can happen. Either the encoder itself turns your video into multiple qualities, like creates multiple quality levels, or it sends it to a server which transcodes the same video into multiple qualities. The main thing here is to get multiple qualities for adaptive bitrate streaming. Once we have the qualities, we can move on into segmentation. Now we have the encoded video with the multiple quality levels. What it needs to go through is segmentation. So your encoded video is segmented into small pieces, small chunks, and each segment can be from 2 to 6 seconds long maximum. This is done so that we do not have to stream a big video, we can just stream segments, making the delivery easier. In this stage, the protocol defines how the video is split and structured. Next up, a manifest file is created, the structure of which is fully defined by the streaming protocol itself. This file includes all of the video segments and available qualities, and it tells the player how many segments there are, what's the correct order for them, how long each segment is, and if the segments are encrypted, aka protected or not. Now the streaming protocol's role here is to define how the video is described by the manifest file to the player. Alright, everything is set, everything is going on perfectly. Now, what happens when the playback finally begins? Your viewer opens your app and clicks on the cooking tutorial video. From that moment on, the playback begins. Here's what happens. The player downloads the manifest file, it reads all of the available quality options, then it begins requesting segments one by one. The protocol's role here is to define how video is requested and delivered from the server to the player. As we already know, the manifest file includes all of the qualities we need, so the protocol's role here is to only switch and technically enable switching from one quality to another based on one important condition, which is your user's internet connection and the internet speed. So if your user's internet speed lowers down, then the player has to lower down the resolution, aka the quality too. But if the connection improves back, then the player can get back to a high resolution, and so on. Well, the important thing here to remember is that the player gets to decide when to switch between qualities. The protocol is only here to enable the switching technically. Next up is the protocol's role in decryption. Well, as we already know, the manifest file includes the encrypted video segment if the video is protected. Here's what happens. Let's say you charge for the cooking tutorial. Let's say your user has to pay to access the cooking tutorial. In that case, it is encrypted. So, the manifest file has to tell the player that your video content is encrypted and the player has to request access. If your user is authorized, aka they already paid for the tutorial, let's say, then the player gets access for the user and the video gets unlocked. Here the streaming protocol's role is to signal that encryption is used so that the DRM system can check permission and allow your user to watch the cooking tutorial. Lastly, once the segments are delivered, decrypted if needed, the qualities are all set, the video is sent to your user's device, is decoded there, and the cooking tutorial finally starts playing for your user to watch. The types of video streaming protocols. Now, what types of video streaming protocols are there? We'll divide them into two main types. The first one is traditional or legacy protocols. The second one is modern HTTP-based video streaming protocols. Let's start with legacy protocols. Traditional or legacy protocols were built way before the CDNs and adaptive bitrate streaming became a thing. So let's go through each one, starting with RTMP. RTMP is like a live video call between a broadcaster and a server. So it maintains a stable connection between the two by sending audio and video data in small chunks with low latency. So RTMP is best for sending a live video from an encoder to a streaming server using it as a reliable ingest protocol. Next up, RTSP. Now RTSP is designed as a control protocol, meaning it does not carry the video itself, but instead manages how the video session behaves. So it is like a remote control for your live camera feeds. RTSP allows these main commands. So play, pause, and record. So RTSP is the best for controlling and accessing live camera streams. Next up, modern HTTP-based streaming protocols. Well, one thing all of these modern protocols have in common is that they dominate the OTT, IPTV, FAST, and VOD platforms. And the reason is they use standard HTTP over TCP, so they are CDN-friendly and firewall-safe. Let's start with HLS. So HLS is like watching a movie in small puzzle pieces that adjust quality based on your internet speed. It's the all-rounder of video streaming protocols, and there are reasons. Number one, it has adaptive bitrate. Number two, it is CDN-friendly. Number three, works on almost all devices. And number four, most importantly, it supports encryption and DRM for security. Next up, MPEG-DASH. So DASH is like HLS but built by an international standards committee instead of Apple. So it's similar to HLS but standardized and more flexible than HLS in many enterprise environments. It's mostly used in smart TV apps, Android TV, enterprise OTT, and platforms needing multi-codec flexibility. The third video streaming protocol is WebRTC. WebRTC is like a direct phone call, not a buffer TV broadcast. So it is optimized for real-time communication rather than segmented delivery. And that's why it's mostly used in video conferencing, interactive streaming, remote control systems, low latency betting platforms, and live auctions. One last time, let's state all the important things video streaming protocols do for video delivery. First, a video streaming protocol defines how the video is split into chunks and described for delivery. Second, it's structuring multiple quality levels so that the player can switch between them based on the internet connection. And lastly, the video streaming protocol signals encryption and DRM so that the protected content can be streamed securely. And that's all. If you find this helpful, share with somebody who also wants to understand streaming better. And if you want your own streaming app, then inoRain has exactly what you need. Head over to inoRain.com, ask all of your questions, and our OTT experts will build the perfect solution for your content. See you next time.